Hello, everyone. I hope that you have had a wonderful weekend, and I hope that we can chop some charts up today and potentially make some money this week. So, yep, you already know that we always start by looking at Forex Factory, right? That's always the first thing that we do. As you guys can see, Monday we have no news, right? So you know the protocol for that. Unless there is sequential SMT between Monday and Friday of the previous week, of course, then we'll have nothing to do. It's as simple as that, right? And I know, some of you, well, everyone knows, right? The concepts that we use here, and instead of, continuously and repeating SSMT or SMT fill, anything like that, we will just be, saying a cracking correlation. So you should know what that is, and you should know the types that they are, right? You should know the types that are there, right? Because I am assuming that if you're still here right now, you take this pretty seriously. You've been studying, right? I'm pretty sure that, none of you here do not know what a SMT fill is. You don't know what premium and discount is. You don't know what a fair value gap is. Everyone should know what a breaker is, right? You should know every true open by heart, right? So you should know the main components of the system that we will be given to you, right? And this system will be given to you, when, on WAP next month. Not here. Definitely not here. Right? It will be given to you guys on WAP, and we will be, there are many systems that we have that, are been tested over and over, and we will be giving them to you like one by one and like test out WAP's new security for, see if we give this one, does it get leaked? Right? But it will be given to you based on your understanding, based on everything that we've already talked about, right? And we will be giving you analysis that will coordinate with that model, that specific model that you'll be given, right? So it's basically, okay, I need to do this and this and this, and that's it, right? I need to just follow the rules exactly, right? It's not, okay, I'm going to look for precision swing. If the model does not require a precision swing point, then you do not need to look for it, right? There are times when you will get overwhelmed with the information that the chart presents to you. And there are times when you do not need everything, right? I'm pretty sure that you've been backtesting. I hope that you have been. If you're still here, then I'm pretty sure that you've been backtesting day and night, right? Trying to grasp everything, paying attention to the live streams, which are very important, right? It's very important to know when to trade. It's very important to know when not to trade. It's very important to know when there's nothing in the charts at all, right? Because there are times when there will be nothing, right? Like the majority of last week, and more than likely the majority of this week too. Why? Right now, this week would be, for the monthly cycle, what Friday would be for the weekly cycle. I will go, deeper into that, and that is, basically part of the Dublin theory that you will begin to understand, because there are gaps that are left out in quarterly theory, right? Quarterly theory is just, a phase to get people to understand the factuality of price, right? That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. There are different types of correlations which are structured around different times, which do not fit within quarterly theory. And this is what you must understand, right? But anyways, right, let's continue talking about the economic calendar. So on Monday, if there is sequential SMT, okay, let me set up over again. Monday, if there's a cracking correlation within the weekly cycle, then followed by a cracking correlation within the daily cycle, then and only then will you have something to do. If price is in its appropriate side of the dealing range. For example, if you're bearish, you must be in premium. And if you're bullish, you must be in discount. It's pretty simple, right? It's pretty simple. Will you win all the times? No. Will you win most of the times? Yes. And that's what you should be aiming for. Not winning every single trade that I take, because that does not exist. And we literally have someone here, that is, I don't know if want to give him away, but he is doing very well in the World Cup trading championships, Robins, whatever it is, right? And I was just going through, everyone, and I saw him, and I was like, that's insane, right? That's cool. He's been here since the beginning, right? I'm pretty sure that, my friend, you're listening right now. I can see you. You caught some of the moves from last month and previous month. That's good. That's amazing. Nice to have you here. Also, let's go back to what we were talking about. I keep going off topic for some reason, right? On Tuesday, we have news at 8:30 a.m. and 10 a.m., right? Tuesday and Wednesday, on the week of non-farm payroll, right? The first 3 days of the week will be the most, the highest probable days. Even if Monday doesn't have a news event, as long as there's a cracking correlation, then we will have something to do, right? Here we have news during the New York session, right? And just by looking at this, right, if we already had the London session take out the Asian session, while another asset class failed to do so, which is in accordance with the triads, or the three triads that we are focusing on at the moment, right? If that happens, then you could look for, example, expansion during the London session, right? Or continuation of that expansion during the New York session. So it all has to do with cracking correlation. And, anyone that tells you that it doesn't, they don't know what they're talking about. I can assure you that, right? Because you have people that will just, post screenshots, post profits, whatever it is, but they don't explain the mechanics of the market to you in a way that you can grasp, a way that it's not hard. Here on Wednesday, we have 4 folders red news folders, USD, of course. That's the that's what we prioritize, right? USD news. We have 4 red folders during the New York session, and we have 3 in the afternoon session. Right? So this day, Wednesday, it's not that you should not fear, right? You should not even fear FOM, non-farm payroll. You shouldn't fear anything, right? You should not fear. As long as if your bearish price is in premium and you have a cracking correlation, at least 2 cracking correlations, right? From higher time frame to lower time frame, then you're okay. As long as you have a stop loss. You shouldn't fear anything. Right? Because the only thing that these things do, right? And usually whenever you have, a lot of, news events like this per week, it's pretty hard to know the high of the week or low of the week, prior to seeing at least, 2 or 3 days play out. Right? And usually you have that, we have the high low of the week, after the Tuesday, whenever we have price action like this. So Wednesday will, be for us, since it will be the day of, the most volatility, even if price is choppy, right? You can get out at the bottom of the chop if you got in at the top, for example. Right? This week will be a challenging week for most of you. If you manage, and I know all of you, you will be trying to do something. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm saying that you should manage your risk. I'm definitely not saying that you shouldn't, because you should. These are the conditions that you will learn the most. Am I telling you that I won't? Oh, I will. Of course I will. Right? You need to, be wary of risk management about everything else. Everything else is gravy. Everything else comes second, right? The people here that are making the most money, the people here that are passing funded accounts, the people here that are successful, the people here that they'll take 2, 3 losses in a row. They don't care. Why? Because they know that their system works more times than it doesn't. So, right, if they are winning, like, okay, I won 4 trades in a row, they don't feel like God. They know they're going to eventually lose, and that's just a part of it. That's what you need to understand. That's what will separate you from everyone else. That's what will make you make money. That's what will help you grow your account. That's what will change you, not only into a better trader, a better person. You won't be emotionally reactive to people on the internet, right? You won't be emotionally reactive to, if you're in a relationship, your spouse or whoever it is you are with, right? They'll say something that they think would upset you, you won't care. And that's the level that you're trying to reach, emotional intelligence. That's what you're trying to gain. That's the most important thing above everything else. Understanding that you will lose money. Not that you will lose money, you have to lose money, right? You will make a mistake. Manage your risk, right? And yes, we will be talking about risk management. We'll be talking about the amount of trades that you need, that you shouldn't go over, if you're new. Because everyone that, is successful within this, industry, they have certain rules that they follow. And the rules that save them the most it doesn't have anything to do with technical rules or fundamental rules or anything that has to do with price action. It has to do with managing risk. Because what are we? Professional risk managers, right? That's literally what it is. The first time I got my job, trading for a firm, it was basically on, they realizing that, I am basically emotionless, right? It's like, okay, I'll take a loss, don't care. And they liked that. That's what they like. Take a loss, don't care. Win, don't care. No celebration. You won't know if I made a $500,000. You won't. No one will know if I made $1 million this month. No one will know if I made $5 million because I am numb to it. And that's how you should be. And going on, yeah, Wednesday. We already talked about Wednesday. You know that we will have a bit of volatility, right? Thursday, we'll have USD news at 8:30 a.m. New York session. Friday, we will have non-farm payroll. So a bit of volatility as well. Note that this week, would not be a part of the monthly cycle, right? If you look at the indicator that, we built, you have for free, you'll notice that this week is blank. Looking at the monthly cycle, it's blank this week, and next week will be Q1, right? That's a low probability week right there. But it does have a meaning, and we do reflect upon it whenever we go to Q1, and that is, all will be taught within the, Dublin Theory lectures. And now we look at some charts, right? Here we have the T-bond futures, the 10-year Treasury note futures, and the 5-year T-note futures. At these heights, right here, we had a crack in correlation between this triad and the Forex triad, right? So I'll show you guys right here. Bear with me with my clicky mouse. I will change it as soon as possible. As soon as I get the other one. So as you guys can see here, right, and we're training your eyes, right? That's exactly what we're training right now. Your eyes, right? So here you can see that we traded above here where we were bearish, right? And we expected price to be drawn to this low, which seemed impossible here. Everyone was bullish except us. So I'll use the cursor right here, right? You can see we had a cracking correlation between this high right here and this high. Right? So between the interest rate triad and the Great British Pound, or not the Great British Pound, the Forex triad, right? There are 6 assets, right? When it comes to correlation, we don't go above the yearly cycle, right? If you go above that, you'll see things that don't make any sense to you, which we'll eventually talk about. It will not make any sense to you because you don't know what it is, right? So here we had a crack correlation, price drop, pre-value gap, drop again. Now, right, there is no cracking correlation here, right, as yet, right? So for now, we could see some, consolidation, and if we do not see a bullish cracking correlation, then we would anticipate that we will be going lower. Right? So this candle right here changes nothing. It doesn't change anything. Right? We can still, go above here and in this area, and then once we get a lower time frame cracking correlation which is in line with this, then we will have something to do. But until then, you do nothing. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Until then, there's nothing to do. Right? And we will see more evidence of that right here on the lower time frames. So this right now is literally us analyzing price, right? This is what it is. And by doing this, we can see that we are in a unprobable, market condition. This market condition is a high probability, right? And it's, a coincidence that, it's happening. This price action happened the week before an NFP week, non-farm payroll. So here, and no one has ever talked about this before, and I'm pretty sure this will be everywhere, but it's not that, what would I say? Amazing. So I don't care. So here you will see the T-bond futures on the forward time frame, the monthly cycle, right? Remember, when comparing the interest rate triad to the forex triad, you don't go above the yearly cycle. So the monthly cycle, comparable. Weekly cycle, comparable. The daily cycle, comparable. When you go above that, you'll see, a lot of things that seem like noise. Well, there's not any noise in price action. Nothing is random, but for now, it will seem like noise to you. So here we had the T-bond futures, moving almost, mirror-like to the US dollar index. Right? And this happened, but this is usually the price action that we have happened before weeks such as this, NFP week, low probability weeks, right? An NFP week usually, kicks price into, symmetrical market conditions. And if NFP doesn't do that, then CPI will do it. Right? So here we have the US dollar taking this low right here, right? This price action, this low. Whereas if you were live, right, we expected, price to be trending higher. We didn't expect it to be trending lower, but there was a lot of chop right here. And still we did expect low probability price action. So not because we got and these are 4-hour candles, right? These are not 5-minute candles. These are 4-hour candles, right? We got the drawn liquidity right, correct, right? And, that just goes to show that, the concepts that we are using, they're true. And yes, we'll talk about the 13-week cycles as well. Not today, though. So whenever we have price action like this, whenever the dollar seems to be mirroring the T-bond futures or the bond market, expect low probability. That is not a market, that you want to be risking the most money within, such as now. This is, live. This is happening now. This is what's in front of us right now. This is what's within the market right now. So what do we do now? We wait. What do we need to see? A cracking correlation. For the dollar, where do I think is the obvious drawn liquidity? These highs. Eventually we'll get to these highs. Right? And even if that, doesn't happen right now, these highs are important. And in my opinion, they will be taken. When will they be taken? After, which event? After we have a cracking correlation that's bullish. That's textbook, right? That's when. Looking at the index futures markets, I know you're confused. You can't tell me you're not confused right now. Everyone is confused. Anyone that says they're not, they know exactly what's going to happen now, they're a liar. Right? And gamblers. Because this right here is not your typical, price action. However, I am more inclined, right, due to the fact that the Dow, on the lower time frame, these highs right here, this high right here is, a draw on liquidity for me. And we have this fair value gap here for the NASDAQ. Another draw on liquidity for me, right? So this gap right here is a draw on liquidity for me. If you look right here, right, where we have all these wicks right here, right? These, as ICT calls them, volume imbalances, that's what he calls them, right? I believe that's his thing, right? This is low probability price action, right? This is not high probability price action. This is consolidating, but sideways, right? That's what this is. So we have this fair value gap here, and we will probably see some retracement of price if price pushes into this fair value gap. And we do have enough volatility this week to see that happen, right? So for now, some upside, seems to be due. But what would allow us to, be a part of that? You already know what to look for, right? A cracking correlation. And that will always be the case. For the S&P 500, right, we are already within this gap. You expect the price to just fall right now? No. I would be more inclined to expect price to return back within this range after, filling this gap right here. And to be honest, since the year even started, right, let me tell you, this is probably, and it's due, right, due to the fact that this week is not, a part of the traditional quarterly theory weekly cycle, which is comprised of 4 weeks, right? This is a blank week, right? We have 13 weeks in each quarter, and this is that extra this is that extra week, right? So we will be, paying attention to this gap right here. On the forward time frame, right, it looks like this. So if we have, volatile price action, which pushes price above this high, and in relation to the previous quarter, which would be this blue rectangle right here, representing the monthly cycle. Right here, during this week, which is going to be blank. Right, there's no rectangle here, signifying low probability, which doesn't mean that you can't do anything. It just means that, price will at times be reluctant to move in the direction which you're anticipating based on logic. So if we have price move above here and there's a current correlation here, we can expect price to return to the range. And here we have, relatively equal highs here, which is our go-to draw on liquidity. Also here we have relatively equal highs. So we will see what happens tomorrow. And if there is any, improvement in price action, then we will be coming back to the charts and dissecting them again. For the Forex market, you can see that, if you remember, we expected higher prices, which we did get, which we already talked about. We have these equal highs here for the Great British Pound, which, I believe we should be, focusing on. From this high to this low, right, price is, over the equilibrium of this range. Right, and this range signifies the low of the previous Friday, right, or the previous day's low, and the high, right, this line right here signifies the previous day's high. And due to the fact that we have, equal highs here, then we could expect, price to be drawn to these highs, which, goes hand in hand with our index futures analysis. So it's not to say that we'll just, pump just like that. We could, but it's, we could first see retracement and a cracking correlation before, we see that happen. In my opinion, unless we see something, very clear, very clean, obvious, right? While prices within this range, wait. Right? Just wait. Price tends to be, lackadaisical and low probability when trading between the high and the low of a previous day's high. So once that low or a high is breached and then there's a cracking correlation, then that usually signifies a reversal. And I hope that, you took something away from this. And the most important thing, right? Remember, if you didn't hear, is everything that we talked about at the beginning of this stream. We will be moving to WAP pretty soon. Right? That's what's been holding up my time, my focus. Trying to, making sure that everything is good, fine for you guys. And tightening security. That's been the main focus, right? So I hope that you guys, took something away from this. I hope that you're ready for the week. This week, focus on, risk management. Oh, I don't want to focus on risk management. I want to make money. When you focus on risk management, you're basically, you'll be making money. Let's just say that, right? Risk management is the gateway to your profitability, right? The longer you survive, the more moves you'll catch. And that's the main thing. That's the main thing you should be focusing on, surviving, right? Trying to, take a loss without flinching, learning how to lose properly, right? Because you'll always be losing sometimes. You'll never be winning all the time. So why are you just focused on, the positive outcomes? You will not learn anything from the positive outcomes. Everything that you learn will be, coming from negative outcomes. I learned the most when I lost $70,000 in one day, right? That's when I learned the most. What did I learn from that? Manage your risk. Manage your risk. Above everything else, manage your risk. Before you take the trade, where's my stop loss going to be? How much percentage am I going to be risking? Do I even know how to calculate my stop loss? How do I calculate my stop loss? Right? If you already have the technicals down, then you already won. You just need to apply risk management. And if you don't do this, I don't know if I can help you. So yes, we will be back during this week, right? If there is something, very obvious in price, then we will be here 9:30 in the morning, And due to the fact that I don't know exactly, or do I? Let's act like I don't. Due to the fact that, no one knows exactly which day of the week will have that setup, right? I'll just be here whenever I see something obvious. So if I see clear, relatively equal highs, listen, I'll be here and I'll be like, it's right there. I need to go right there. Price needs to go there. But first, what do we wait for? Current correlation. If the highs are relatively equal highs are above price, then we should be in discount, not premium. And this is a simple way to filter bad trades. So yes, of course, you get a heads up whenever I see anything. Right, I'll be very active this week. The previous weeks, I mostly, like for example, last week I probably took one trade, and yeah, that was probably it. It was a intra-week trade, right? Due to the fact that I did not have enough time to be just looking at the charts, scalping as I usually like to do. So, yep, we will be back during the course of this week. Not sure if we'll probably be here, 9:30 for a taping session, which those are usually long, right? And I'll notify you, at least 12 hours before. But definitely we'll be back Wednesday. And hopefully, right, see if we can, be adding back Saturday live streams. Hope that you found something useful from this. And I hope that you have a, wonderful trading weekend. Don't risk too much. Manage your risk. That's how you get better than everyone. Goodbye.